Hello everyone, my name is Adeline Spears and welcome back to another AWX weather forecasting video. And in this video, we are breaking down Tropical Storm and soon to be Hurricane Beryl, as she has her sights set on a U.S. landfall late this weekend and into the early morning hours of Monday this upcoming week. So we're going to look at all of the possible coastal and inland impacts and also where Beryl is headed after landfall in Texas. So all of that and more is coming up in this AWX weather forecasting video. So let's get into the forecasting. We're going to be taking a look at some of the most recent satellite imagery of Tropical Storm Beryl, who is just off of the coast of Mexico. And the last time we were taking a look at Beryl with this satellite imagery, it was back when she was a Category 5 hurricane and had just finished impacting portions of the southern Windward Islands and was well on her way to Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and even portions of the Yucatan Peninsula. But since then, Beryl is now in the Gulf of Mexico and has begun that process of intensification, and we can even see some new convection sparking here, and even we're noticing an uptick of lightning, which are another two factors that have confirmed our beliefs of that intensification process that has now begun. And now we're going to take a look at the National Hurricane Center's cone of uncertainty, and we're sitting here at about 1 p.m. on Saturday, still at that tropical storm intensity, and we are expecting to maintain this intensity all of the way until about 7 p.m. Sunday, which is when Beryl is expected to cross that line and become a Category 1 hurricane just shortly before that U.S. landfall at about 7 a.m. Monday, which is expected to be at a Category 1 intensity hurricane, probably a high-end Category 1 hurricane with those sustained wind speeds at about 90 miles an hour, potentially with gusts capping off at about 100 miles an hour. But after that landfall initially on Monday morning, where is Hurricane Beryl going to be headed? And we've got a couple of different options, but for now, we're decently certain that Beryl is going to take this northeastern curve, and she will weaken to that tropical storm intensity by 7 p.m. Monday. And again, after the overnight hours, when we wake up on Tuesday, Beryl should be at a depression, at the depression status, a tropical depression, as she is exiting Texas. And at that point, we've got a lot of possible routes that Beryl could be taking. We could see more of a curve getting up into the Midwest near St. Louis, or we could see Beryl continue that more sharper eastern curve, and we could see it impacts all the way over, getting into the Tennessee River Valley over near Nashville and getting up into Kentucky and Indiana and Illinois as well. But for now, we've got everyone in the cone of uncertainty needs to be staying aware. You need to be staying tuned in to your National Weather Service offices, your local news stations, and of course the National Hurricane Center, as many more drastic changes are expected, as again, we've still got 4 to 7 days until we're going to be seeing Beryl getting into this neck of the woods. But for now, we're going to be focusing on the coastal areas of Texas for the remainder of this forecasting video, and we're going to continue here at the cone of uncertainty. As we can see, we've already got a variety of alerts issued. We've got that tropical storm warning extending all of the way from the most southernmost tip of Texas, getting up into the Corpus Christi area, but we cannot disregard those hurricane and storm surge watches that are extending from that Corpus Christi area, getting up just past the Houston and Galveston area, ending right before the Texas-Louisiana border. So now we're going to take a little bit of a deeper dive into some of the effects of Hurricane Beryl and some of the impacts. And the first one we're going to take a look at is the storm surge. That is going to be a huge issue from Beryl. Across the board, we're looking about 2 to 5 feet minimum to maximum storm surge, starting down here near Corpus Christi and just areas pointing south. We're looking at storm surge from 2 to 4 feet on the southern end, but once we get up into the Corpus Christi Bay, we're looking at 3 to 5 feet. Same thing for over here at the Matagorda Bay. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong, but as we get up towards Galveston and Houston, we're going to see that storm surge drop off to about 2 to 4 feet. Nevertheless, still significant, still something to take precautions for, but thankfully we're not seeing 2 significant storm surge and upwards of 5 feet. So now we're going to take a look at another big issue that is going to come along with Beryl, possibly the most pressing one, and that is going to be rainfall and flooding. The Weather Prediction Center already has a day 2 moderate risk for excessive rainfall out here, and this rainfall map here is just going to illustrate why. We're going to be seeing widespread totals between about 2 to 10 inches in some places. That is right. We're going to be seeing maybe even up to a foot in areas that receive that direct landfall or get under a couple of those trailing tropical bands. And yes, we could see that 10 to 12 inch range, ranging from that area between Corpus Christi over towards Galveston and pointing north and east. But overall, widespread, we're going to be looking at that 2 to 6 inch range on the more conservative side. But again, if you get under some training bands or the direct landfall, we could be seeing totals between 6 to 10, maybe even isolated 12 inches. So flooding is definitely going to be an issue. Turn around, don't drown. I know the city of Corpus Christi has been handing out sandbags all day, and I'm sure many other cities and towns up and down the coast will be doing the same if they have not already. But again, just take precautions, and we're going to be looking a little bit more into safety towards the end of this video, which is coming up in just a second. But another thing I wanted to briefly touch on was the tornado threat. That is something that is also frequently overlooked when it comes to tropical systems. There's already so much spin in the atmosphere once these tropical disturbances move ashore, in this case Hurricane Beryl, and we could be seeing a pretty notable tornado threat. I know the Storm Prediction Center already has a 5% risk out for areas just around Corpus Christi and extending just past Houston. This does include the Houston metro area as well, so definitely be aware of that as well. That is quite often a forgotten side effect of these tropical systems, so definitely make sure you know your safe spot down here on the southeastern coast of Texas. And we may see that tornado threat spread north and east on day 2 of Hurricane Beryl on Tuesday as well. We don't have the exact probabilities as it is a little far out, but that's definitely something I will be monitoring. And if another forecasting video is warranted, we may see another update on that as well. But now we're going to take a look at some hurricane preparedness safety. Get moving when the storm threatens. That could not be a more important statement, as we are about 24 hours away from hurricane impact. So you have the rest of today and maybe even the front half of tomorrow before these conditions begin to deteriorate if you are along the southeastern coast of Texas. But if you are a little bit further inland, you don't have to prepare as much, but you do have more time. So the first thing, you want to go ahead and start covering your windows, securing doors, and loose items. This would be a great opportunity to bring in those patio furniture or anything else that may blow around and potentially become flying debris with these hurricane force winds expected. And make sure you will have a go bag ready, and also follow all evacuation guidelines. Now, that's not something we have to be concerned with this time around. Evacuations are not expected, as this is only a Category 1 hurricane. But that is just something to keep in mind in the future when more tropical disturbances are heading your way. And it's also even more so important that all of your electronics are charged, as power outages are always a possibility when these tropical systems come ashore, especially here down in Texas. And make sure you're helping out others as well, especially neighbors or elderly friends and family as well. Just keep an eye on all of another during this time, as we all could be seeing some damage down here in southeastern Texas. But this will wrap up this AWX weather forecasting video. I hope you enjoyed it. I'm sorry if it's a little all over the place. I had to put this together pretty quickly, as Hurricane Beryl will be impacting these areas within the next couple of hours. 12 to 24 hours is your expected time frame, but more videos like this will be continuing for the rest of the summer. I've got quite a lot of time on my hands, and the weather seems to not be slowing down anytime soon. So stay safe, stay weather aware, and I'll see you soon with some more weather forecasting videos just like this.